So I am back with another crochet TikTok situation. As you can tell, I got all nice and done up for y'all today. My new complaint is with this yarn by Yarn Bee, the Scrub-ology Cotton. It's really cool. It's really cool because you can make little washcloths or dishcloths, and it's like it's got that rough texture to really scrape up some dishes or scrape off some dead skin cells, whatever you want to do with it. So of course I'm like, let me make up some cute things, and I did. So currently I've finished up one whole set, and one whole set completes a whole skein. They're actually pretty small skeins. Here's one of them. Like I said, they're only like a fist size. They're not very large. But these, they make good things. So I have, let me flip this back. So it makes up, I made 4 situations. I got like a little face pad or sink scrubby, whichever you want to use, and then like a smaller one, and it comes with a little loop to hang them. And then the big boys. Whoa. For that extra body or plate coverage, whatever you're trying to take care of, you know, little loop. So I made these up yesterday, just trying out the pattern. It was a free pattern I got at Hobby Lobby that you can just pull right off of the shelf. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be, I bought this in yarn like a year or two ago, and I just now got to it. Crochet Problems. So I'm working, and I just gotta say that if you're gonna work with like a dishcloth or washcloth type of yarn, you better, I've been crocheting for 17 years now, since 6th grade. You better be very confident in counting your stitches with this shit, because I've worked with fuzzy and fluffy yarns before, and it's like, yeah, it can be hard to say. This is a new nightmare right here. This sweet mother of God, like the fucking, like the center area, the stitch definition was so hard to see. Like, don't take a break with counting these stitches out while you're doing them. Just crochet the 11 stitches and then take a break, because losing count is a nightmare. And like I said, I've been crocheting for a long time, and even I was like, what the fuck? Like I was having such an issue with this, and but I'm like, no, I've got to make it work. I'm not going to give up on this. I've got to try, blah, blah, blah. And I did it. And it's like, once you get past, a lot of flipping going on today, once you get past like that initial circle, it's easier to count the stitches in between. Well, if you're working on like a granny square situation where the stitches are kind of spaced out, then it's easy to see. You don't really need to see the tops of the stitches. You just gotta feel. It's one of those feel it out kind of bullshit situations. So like they're in between where that hole is, that's where you would put. It's really just go by touch kind of situation. And I will, Jesus H. I will say, get your shit together. That although very fulfilling making one of these, your hands will feel like it has gone through a cheese grater. And yes, that's very dramatic of me. But that is what it feels like. Like I felt like I needed to dunk my hands in lotion after, just because it'd been rubbing. I don't carry crochet rings or whatever because I have perfect tension. It's like the only thing I got going for me. I can figure out the tension of a yarn and not have to worry about having something to help me. Yes, it's great being God's favorite. But no, like I'm surprised that these are still here and not just tips of bone, you know, because it's rough. Like, it's like, especially if it's sliding through your fingers for hours, because it took me an entire day to do these 4 things. Looks like we got a booger picker on our hands. Anyway, we're bonding. So, I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody else needs a PSA on this fucking yarn. But it's great. I mean, it's great. Like, if you wanna, it's a quick project. I'm selling these bad boys for $15, or I'm gonna try. I haven't gotten a taker yet, but all I got to do is just find that one person to take this shit off my hands. And they're pretty They're pretty cheap. Come on. Focus. That says 564, 549. I can't read, especially backwards on my phone. So they're a little bit more expensive than like the $3.99 yarns, but it's a specialty yarn. And yeah, thought I'd make a video because I thought my opinion mattered on this. So just keep in mind that if you work with these like washcloth type yarns, finding out firsthand. I can't stop looking at myself. That's why I'm looking down. I'm a narcissist. Just be very aware that you're going to have a hell of a time finding the stitches, okay? And then just the skin gratingness of the washcloth texture itself. Also, the only aggravating thing about this, other than the stitch definition, is when I was finishing it off, I was sewing in the ends and such. You have to, well, with working with this yarn, you can frog it. You just have to kind of move it up and down while you frog it, because it has all these little itty bitty pieces of twisted up shit on it. So they kind of snag easy. So you just got to kind of really just go with the flow with this yarn when you're frogging it or whatever. But I found out, and I thought I was going to have issues with like it breaking. There was no problem with it breaking until I was sewing in the ends, because first of all, I have a needle that's like this size and it's way too small for something like this, especially with all the extra texture on it. So I got to get some more of that. I got to get bigger threads or yarns, needles. God help me. Bigger needles. I need bigger needles. But yeah, so like when I sewed in the ends for the loop and for the center circle, which thankfully it only has 2 sew-ins, it's not like a complicated piece, which you could make it, but fuck that, I ain't doing that. And yeah, so they tend to, whenever you're working it through and sewing in the ends, it will rip if you're not careful. Which it doesn't matter, because I feel like with this texture, I feel like it'll really hold in the ends better than like with regular like slippery yarn. Like this thing catches. It fucking catches on everything. And yeah. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk about this yarn. It's great. I give it out of 5. I'd give it 2 out of 5, because we like small scales here. All right. Till next time. Toodles.